So if you've ever needed reading glasses, you kind of know what reading glasses are used for. That's built into the name even. So you're using reading glasses to read. Now, what happens is in low vision, you lose your central acuity. So you might be familiar with the term 20/20, or if you're not in the US, it's 6/6 for the meters. But what happens with low vision is oftentimes your central ability to have 20/20 vision, to have perfect vision, is impaired to the point that you can't achieve 20/20 even with the most powerful glasses there are. So that is where high-powered readers come in, because if you think about 20/20, what 20/20 is that's at 20 feet. And normally there's a secondary test for reading that's performed at around between 12 and 16 inches to assess your reading acuity. So your reading acuity at that distance of 16 inches is how they measure that. Now, once you can't get to 20/20 anymore, now maybe you can only get to 20/40 or 20/60. So when you get to that level of acuity, you're not really able to hold things at that far distance anymore and still be able to see it clearly. That is where high-powered readers become potentially helpful for different tasks. So what a high-powered reader is kind of beyond the normal range of just the normal range of reading prescriptions. And what you're doing with that is you are shortening the distance and increasing the size of what you're seeing. So you're holding the reading material closer and having a pair of glasses that matches that closer focal distance. Now, what you would do is over time, so when you have kind of super early stage low vision, you might not need the highest power reader. So we make these in a power, so if you're familiar with normal reading glass powers, it goes like 1, 2, 3. We make high-powered readers anywhere from like a +4 up to a +48. So a +48 is ridiculously strong. And what those numbers are is, I hate to get too mathy, but basically the focal length of the lens is 1/4 for a 4 diopter, and then 1/48 of a meter for a 48 diopter. So what's 1/48 of a meter? That's a little bit more than 2 centimeters. So on a 48 diopter high-powered reader, you would be holding that reading material about 2 centimeters from your face. Now, if you think about that in the context of what you might want to do with that high-powered reader, you're probably not going to be reading a book. But if you need to maybe examine maybe just detect like what pill bottle you have, or like just read the fine print on something in a newspaper, like for some reason, it would be kind of for spot reading. Like you wouldn't sit and read a book. Now with a +4, where the focal length is 1/4 of a meter, or a +5 where it's 1/5 of a meter, so 20 centimeters or 25 centimeters, you could do things more comfortably. So you could possibly read a book. You could possibly, read a newspaper, that sort of thing. So that is what high-powered readers do and what they're for.